Okay, hello. So everyone, welcome to our discussion in this video. And for today, we are going to discuss about the inclusive practical for the English teaching. And ladies and gentlemen, uh, the inclusive educations nowadays is really one of the popular topic. Why there's so many scholarship provided by the institutions like the British Council, probably like the Fulbright in the United States, the scholarship in the Europe and also other countries provided the people who want to learn about the inclusivity, yeah, the inclusive educations. And uh, one of the branch dealing with the inclusivity is how actually in education to make the special needs student, the special needs children also get the opportunity to learn, which is also to improve their capability. And in this case is improving their capability in English. I believe that you have a same perception like me that every people have their own right, have the same right, has the same opportunity to get the education, yeah, including also having the chance to learn English, to get opportunity to learn the language that can make them collaborate with other people all around the world. And here I'm going to show you one of the video. This is one of the amazing and motivating video, and I believe that you know this person. I will share my screen. Yeah. I will share my screen and then I believe that you know this person. Yeah. I will play the video for you, but I'm not going to play this video until the end. Just listen to the music.
Than ever before, it's in my muscle memory, I'm pretty sure. I recognize you, there is something in your eyes. Won't let you get away tonight. You leave me in the dark. I'm stumbling around like I'm a question mark. Wondering if you're around to catch me if I'm fall. If I come crashing at the wall, will you lay me up, jumpstart my heart? I need someone before the sun goes down.
Okay, so because this is not a video clip video, yeah, so I will explain that this is Alan Walker, and I believe that all of you know this famous singer in the world. Sorry, Alan Walker, one of the famous singer in the world, tried to collaborate with the beautiful girl. And this girl is not a normal girl like you all, yeah, probably like we are, right? But she is the special need girl. Yeah. She is Putri Aryani, one person who got the golden ticket in the American Got Talent, coming from Indonesia, and also invited to sing by the president also in the special event. Putri Aryani, and I believe that you know this person, right? So it's really motivating a video. Why? Because you can take a look that Putri Aryani has a beautiful voice. We know that one. Her voice is really beautiful, and also her English is really amazing and good. Got the golden ticket into American Got Talent, right? So what I'm gonna say here is the people who has disability, the special need, yeah, and not normal like other people, also can be one. I mean, can get awesome achievement, awesome achievement like Putri Aryani. And I believe that not all people can be Putri Aryani, even though you or we are a normal person. So she is blind. She cannot see anything. But the amazing one is she can play piano. She can play the music instrument, not only able to sing in a beautiful voice. Yeah. So even Alan Walker, one of the famous singer, also invited her to collaborate in his a project. And what I'm gonna say here is I will say that the improvement of the inclusivity in the education now is really popular. In Indonesia itself, I have shown you the data that the increasing number of this inclusive school also increased in Bandung, in West Java, in even also in Indonesia. Yeah, it doesn't mean that there's so many people in the special need, but we have already realized that the special need itself, not only disability, not only in the disability of blind, deaf, yeah, or someone who has no hands or no other body parts, but it's more complex, like ADHD, for example, like autism, hyperactive. That also what I mean. The inclusivity is something special that probably the children who has uh, that disability, I mean, probably will be difficult to study in a normal or a regular school, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, today we are going to talk deeply about inclusivity and the practical one in the English teaching, yeah, because you are the first English teacher. Here I will share my screen. Wait a moment. Okay, I hope you can take a look to my screen. Now, so this is the PDF that I'm going also to attach this PDF in the description of this video. So therefore you can download this material also. And talking about the importance of the inclusive practical English teaching, or we can make the acronym become IPAD. The first reason why inclusion is mandatory and it is necessary in English language teaching. Yeah, not only in English language teaching, but also in other subjects. Ladies and gentlemen, so the inclusive practical English teaching, or IPAD course here is critically important. Why do I say so? Because it's highly relevant to the contemporary English language education curriculum. This course bridges the gap between the theoretical language teaching principle and the diverse reality of students in the classroom, particularly those with the special education needs or inclusive learners. Ladies and gentlemen, not only talking about the inclusivity or the inclusive or the special education need, even in the normal situation, in the normal school, in the regular school, when you come into the class, probably when you teach around 25 until 30 students in the class, I believe even though you teach in the normal class, in the regular school, all of the students in your class will have a differences, will have a different learning style, will have a different focus level. When we talk about the English as foreign language, they have also different language level. So the diversity is various actually, not only in the special or the inclusive learners, even though also in the normal or the regular children, the regular schools, I mean, and especially in the inclusive learners, I mean, and the student as in with special needs classroom, yeah, the inclusive education is the system that can provide the opportunity for all students, no matter what, yeah, including those with disabilities or gifted. We can say it's a gifted like Putri Aryani, right? Or talented abilities. How can Putri Aryani play piano with the blind condition? Even I am the pianist also. Even we are, when I play the piano, I always take a look. I always take a look to my piano, to the notes, yeah, yeah. But Putri Aryani can know her fingers. Where should her finger push the button? There, yeah, in a blind condition. So sometimes we cannot regard or consider that this is one of the disability, but we can also consider this one as a gift, yeah, or talented abilities. Okay, and back again to the education, yeah, the IPAD. or the inclusive practical English teaching also here try to overcome and uh, come to attend the education in the same learning environment as a general education student. I believe that, ladies and gentlemen, like here, I'm supervising also several schools, the private schools in Bandung, the private school one. When I take a look to one of the elementary school, even this is the regular elementary school, not the special needs school. Yeah, this is the regular school. Even uh, I always got the special needs students with the special disabilities like ADHD or probably like autism, and even also with a bit Down syndrome, right, or dyslexia also. And their parents still putting their children not in the special need school, but still in the regular school. Why? Why they still put their children in the regular school? Probably there's several reasons, yeah, because the limitation of the school. We should realize that now the increasing number of the school, yeah, the government now in Indonesia try to build the new special needs schools. Because of what? Because the limited in Indonesia, in West Java and in Bandung especially, we only having no more than 200, no more than less than 200, less than 200 the special needs student. When you know that the special needs student it's spreading out in West Java and it's really limited, I'm going to say, right? Therefore, some of the parents also still putting their special need children to the regular school. Not only because of the limited school, but because of the several reasons, like they believe that their children can survive, can also be normal, can be cured for their disabilities. Therefore, in the regular school, who still accept the inclusive learners, uh, they facilitate they facilitate the children with uh, GPK in Indonesian language, or we call it as a guru pendamping kelas. Yeah. Before in the class, not only having the teacher, but also the inclusive facilitator there, yeah, to facilitate the student with the special need. Therefore, what I'm going to say here is, as the pre-service English teacher, when you have this skill, you're not only going to get the job or the opportunity to teach in the inclusive or the special need schools, but sometimes also in the regular school as the inclusive facilitator. Okay, so next. The next reason, I have already talked to you that in the global and the national context, yeah, why the inclusive education one of the mm, main concern in education field in education ecosystem. The first is because as the human right imperative. Yeah, I believe that you agree with me that every individual, regardless of their physical, mental, or social condition, all they are has the right, they have the same right to appropriate and equal education. Yeah, and this is also coming from the law on national education system number 20 of 2003 in Indonesia, that all people, no matter what, with disability or normal condition, they have the same right to get the equal education. Therefore, the iPad come here as one of the course that you should be mastered. And the second reason is because of the paradigm shift. The paradigm shift. As I talked to you before, that moving away from the segregation, from the special schools, yeah, they just like separating. They just like make the disability children as different. They're different, not equal, and don't have the socialization with the normal people, yeah, with the normal children. But now the parent got a shifting paradigm. What do I mean here is some of the parents think that those who has the special need children, yeah, they still has the right to get the socialization, yeah, to get a friendship with the normal children also. Yeah. Therefore, moving away from the segregations, yeah, and integrations of this is the inclusive one, this is the normal one, yeah. Uh, some parents and also most of the schools now still accept the inclusive learners in the regular classes, yeah. But as I talked to you, with the adequate support, with the accommodation, for example in my school, with by facilitating those children with the inclusive facilitator, so he or she will be accompanied with that facilitator, yeah, not only having the teacher in the class. Okay, and the third reason is because of the professional readiness. As the pre-service teacher, as those or you are who learn in the education field, that English language education graduate must be prepared to teach in any school. In any school, if you have the opportunity to teach in the special needs schools, so I think you can grab it. You can take that opportunity also, and including those implementing inclusive education, because as I talked to you that not only in the special need education or special needs school, in normal school sometimes the teacher should face also the special needs student. We have to get a skill, which is this is the universal and adaptive skill, yeah. Okay, so Akang Teteh, or ladies and gentlemen, uh before we move to the urgency of the iPad course for you as the pre-service English teacher, I will share again the video beside the Putri Aryani video before, right? It's really motivating video, but here I have another video, but not coming from Indonesia. This is coming from other countries, yeah. So the name is Helen Keller. So I will back to the previous video. Okay, so who is Helen Keller? Helen Keller here is, if I'm not mistaken, so she is one or the first person in United States who graduates from the bachelor degree, even though she has the disabilities. She she was born with a deaf and blind condition. Can you imagine? I'm going to say one more time. Helen Keller was born with deaf, or she cannot hear, she cannot speak up like a normal people. Plus, she was born with blind condition. How lonely she is. She can't communicate, and she didn't know how the words are. She couldn't see the word. Yeah. They she didn't know how the language is because she's deaf, couldn't hear anything, and also she couldn't speak. Yeah. But the amazing one is she is the first person in United States and probably in the world who can graduate and finish her education for the bachelor degree. Yeah. In the art education, in the art specialty. It's really amazing, right? How can Helen Keller get this high achievement? Yeah. So Helen Keller is not now, but she was, yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, she was passed away. That when she after graduate from bachelor degree, she become the famous writer also. So many books produced by her, and she becomes the politician in the United States, become the lecturers and educator. And for sure, she is one of the famous motivator in United States. How can someone with a deaf and blind condition finish her bachelor education degrees? While in the time, finishing the bachelor degree is really high achievement, not like Not like today, probably many people getting the bachelor degree education, but on the time, it's really high achievement. So let's take a look to one or two videos that I'm going to share to you all.
When Helen Keller was just 19 months old, a sudden illness stole her sight and hearing. Frustrated and isolated, little Helen grew wild and angry. Trapped in a lifeless world, then came a young teacher, and Sullivan, whose patience and faith changed everything. One spring afternoon, and placed Helen's hand under running water and spelled WATR into her palm. In that magical moment, Helen understood. Touch could speak and silence could be broken. From that day on, Helen's life became a journey of learning and triumph. She mastered reading and writing through Braille, learned to speak using vibrations, and even graduated from Radcliffe College, becoming the first deafblind person to earn a college degree. She went on to write 14 books, deliver lectures across the world, and become a global voice for the disabled, proving that even in darkness, one can choose to shine.
Okay, so that's the first video, but I will make it clearer by playing also the other videos. Yeah. Wait a moment. So this one, if I'm mistaken.
She was born blind and deaf, trapped inside her own head with no way to communicate.
So she was born in blind and deaf, getting a trap in the silent world, because she couldn't see, she couldn't hear anything, and she couldn't express her feeling to others because deaf. Yeah, trapped in a silent world, in the silent condition. But one of the amazing one come when one of the amazing teacher guide and change her life.
So her teacher placed her hand on her throat, then began to speak. The vibrations told her when sound was being made and how strong or soft it was. She moved her fingers to the teacher's lips and nose, feeling how they formed different shapes for each word. Then she practiced those same movements on her own face, over and over again until she was able to speak. She was born.
So her life changed. Her life changed because of what? Because of the teacher. The teacher guide, one of this teacher guide Keller to know the vibration, to know how people communicate by using the sound, right? And then this ability also become one of the bridge for Helen Keller, yeah, to achieve a motivation, yeah, to learn of how to communicate, to learn of how to not speak up but communicate by writing. And she become know the words, even though this is the braille word, right? And know how to type, and they're really amazing because she got the teacher who can guiding her to move, to get away from a silent and trap condition. Yeah, the silent word in darkness and also in the silent word because she was deaf. This is a really motivating video like Putri Aryani, also Helen Keller, right? So as I talk to you that, ladies and gentlemen, all people have their right to get the equal education. And that's one of the urgency and also the reason why the iPad, yeah, now come as one of the important course, and probably the inclusivity education not only in English education study program but also in other major, especially like young children education, yeah, and other subjects also. Move to the urgency of the iPad course for pre-service English teacher like you all. The iPad course ensures that English language education graduate process complete professional competency You have to get the professional competency, because iPad not only talking about the ability for you to use the language, but your pedagogic skill or pedagogic knowledge. Yeah. Going beyond to know the subject mastery, yeah, but also the pedagogic ability. As I talked to you that when you come into the class, you're not only getting all the students with the same learning style, but in a normal class, in normal school also, even you will have the different learning style student, different language level student, also different diversity, so many diversity, also, especially in the class. So therefore, the need for adaptive competencies. The iPad here will equip you, yeah, with the inclusive technological pedagogical content knowledge, or TPAC. The ability here, including the first, I want you to be able to analyze learning needs. I want you to have the ability to identify learning style of your students. And you have the ability to communicate with a various, or with the diverse student. Yeah, I hope you can communicate with the special needs student, and also with the normal student, with the hyperactive student. How to communicate with hyperactive student? Commonly, it must be different with the normal student, right? How to communicate with the autism student, and also it will equip you to the unique potential of inclusive student with the context of language learning, right? And the second one is, I want you to have the competency also to design the flexible curriculum. You know, in the state school, or yeah, sekolah negeri on the state school, the government has mandated the curriculum to taught, or to learned by the student in the school. But because we are talking about the inclusivity, therefore, I hope you are the educator, you have a flexible mindset, yeah, to design the curriculum. I hope that you can master the principle of universal design for learning, to create the learning goals, to create the material and also the assessment, that it can be assessed for all students. Yeah, no matter what. For example, you created the material to the class. I hope that you know about multimodal text, that not facilitating the student with the visual mode, but also facilitating the student with the audio mode. Because probably, we never know that you have the student with visual disability or visual distraction, right? And we never know also when you have the student with the audio disability, therefore you can facilitating your student with the visual mode. Yeah, with the visual mode. Therefore, the material and also the media you are facilitating for your student, it must be accessible for all of your students with the diversity. And the third one is, hopefully that iPad can equip you with the integrate alternative communication strategies. I hope that you can know how to use the appropriate media. As I talk to you, the sign language, right? Even though I'm not really sure that I understand about the sign language, like this one, right? Like any sign language, right? Or other additional communications aids in the foreign language in English classroom. Yeah. Okay, so that's the reason, and the target actually for me to equip you as a pre-service teacher. And then, uh, ladies and gentlemen, that you have to know, especially in Indonesia, that many regions now increasingly adopting inclusive model in regular schools. Yeah. Not many, but there's some, only a few probably, only a few now. The regular schools in Bandung has a tagline that they are the inclusive school. Yeah, they are the inclusive school, even though they mix the normal children with the special needs student, because they mentioned that they use the inclusive education. They use the inclusive approach to educate their students. Yeah, uh, it's very popular nowadays, actually, ladies and gentlemen. And the English language education graduates who are skilled with iPad, hopefully that you will have the competitive advantage in the job market. What do I mean is, you not only take a look to be the teacher in the normal classes in the normal schools, but with this course, hopefully you have also the skills that can give you the opportunity to compete, getting a job market in the inclusive or the special need schools, or probably become the facilitator, inclusive facilitator in the regular school. Okay, okay, that's about the professionalism. But talking about iPad also, it will increase our emotional quotient. What I'm gonna say here is it will sharpening your sympathy. It will make your perspective to see the special needs children as different. And when we learn about this one, when I'm trying to take a look so many videos talking about iPad, so it can also change your mind, change your perspective when seeing the disabilities to the gifted. So some people say that disabilities, but probably some people say that's not disabilities, but it's a gifted. Therefore, the iPad here will improve, will increase, or probably will growing up your empathy, your patience. Because I believe that teaching the inclusive students, you will have and you need more patience. Yeah, you will need more patience, and it will improve your empathy, your passion, and for sure your social justice. And here I hope that you learn about how to support, how to not discriminate the disability or the special needs student. Yeah. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, here actually, I do really want to explain about the various diversity of inclusive learner needs. I mean, so diverse, so various inclusivity for the students, for the children. Yeah, like for example, Putri Aryani. Putri Aryani got the condition while she has the visual disability or impairment. Well, we can say it's blindness, a blindness, the blind. It's totally dark. Yeah. Putri Aryani was born with a blind and dark condition actually. But some people also can be categorized as a visual impairment, like the children or the people with a low vision. Yeah, the low vision. For example, the baby who was born with the color blind, yeah, color blind, yeah, or probably with the plus or minus eyes, even though that he or she still young. So the visual impairment here categorizing as the sensory impairment. So sensory impairment here can be broken down into two conditions. The first is the visual, and the second one is the audio or hearing impairment. For example, like deafness or hard of hearing something, hard of hearing the voice, yeah. The visual impairment, like the difficulty to read the text, to see the yeah, I mean, to see, to feel, right, to feel, yeah. But the deafness, like hearing impairment, difficulty understanding, listening, yeah, comprehension, yeah, or having a low audio ability. Okay, so that's sensory impairment. Not only some people with the sensory impairment, but some probably they can see, they can hear, not in blind and deaf condition, but uh, it's really famous to know as Down syndrome. Yeah, so the cognitive impairment or intellectual disability. So the word that's really famous in Indonesia commonly said as a Down syndrome or the difficulty to memorize or with the memory retention. In language learning, the condition of this student or the condition of these children is really hard to learn a new vocabulary, to requiring the repetition. Yeah, because they have low intellectual uh, low intellectual development, yeah, or we can say as a Down syndrome, or in Indonesia is abnormal. The various disability also like the physical disabilities or motoric impairments. For example, like the people who's born with no hands, for example, the person who was born with no foot, for example, right? Difficulty to move weight, difficulty to move like a normal people, or even when the person who has a normal body part, but they still have difficulty with other movement, difficulty to write, difficulty to move their hand, even though they have hand, but difficult to moving their hand. This also can be categorized as the physical or a motor impairments, ladies and gentlemen, right? And another one that also is really popular in Indonesia, called as the specific learning disabilities. What is the specific learning disabilities here? For example, like dyslexia. Dyslexia is the condition when someone got difficulties to read or to decode the words. Yeah, not only to read the text, but also associating something with the sound, with the symbol. And it's really confusing for a dyslexia, yes, someone with dyslexia to study in the normal or a regular school without a special or inclusive facilitator. Why? In the perspective of dyslexia person, when you read the text is moved randomly. The text is moved randomly. And for you, it's really confusing. Not like us as a normal people. When we read the text will be kept in that position, ladies and gentlemen. But for dyslexia, the text can be moving randomly. So therefore, the brain cannot proceed, cannot process to understand what the sentence or what the symbol means. Yeah? Because the words moving away randomly, so we cannot arrange and understand the meaning of that sentence. Not only visually, but also to hear someone speak up in a long sentence. It's really difficult for the dyslexia people, especially, right, to understand. Yeah? Dyslexia, commonly mostly getting a problem in reading, but there's also other special learning abilities like dysgraphia. Dysgraphia is difficulty in organizing, producing a writing work. It's really hard producing writing work, right? Okay, I will give you the example later on, right? And before we move to the attention deficit or ADHD and also autism, here actually I have the videos, actually the perspective of the people with the dyslexia disabilities. I'm sorry, this is wrong video. But what I'm gonna say here is someone with a dyslexia. Wait a moment. Okay, someone with dyslexia commonly have a disorder when reading the text. the word is moving away or probably a blur, getting blur. For example, like this video, this is the dyslexia simulation, ladies and gentlemen. So you can take a look that sometimes the letter move, sometimes the letter get away, right? But sometimes the children cannot, arranging the sentence back in their brain. So this is the dyslexia simulation. The words don't stay still. The letter and the words move, yeah, randomly. And sometimes the color appear to become block of the colors. So sometimes in their perspective, some of the words, some of the sentence probably block, not the words. Letter also, it's blocking, not only moving. Another condition like the background of the text can appear to change the color when we read the book with a white paper, but sometimes in dyslexia disorder, they take a look that the book is not white anymore, it's become black and it's blocking the words. Yeah? I'm not the dyslexia disorder, but I can feel of how struggle these people to study, right? Okay, so we can back to our PDF, our presentation. And how about the dysgraphia? So this is the example of dysgraphia. I have also the video. Okay, I'm sorry, but I missed the video. But yeah, but the point is in dysgraphia, it's really hard to write. For example, even though you have already adult, but it's difficult for them to write A, to write B, right? Or to arrange the words like strawberry. Try to write strawberry. It's really difficult for the dysgraphia disorder to write strawberry, and even also to spelling the word strawberry, like it's becoming from the S and then T and then what else? The dysgraphia get the difficulties to arranging and also to write spelling the letter to become the sentence, to become the words and to become the sentence. And then not only specific learning disabilities, but inclusivity also including the emotional behavior disorder like ADHD, the difficulty to follow long instruction or calmly distracted with the simple things, right? For example, when you coming to your desk and you have to focus to do your work, to do your homework, but you got distracted because of the tissue. I have the tissue here. You got distracted and then you try to flip up the tissue to make it more tidy. The normal people think that why should we flip the tissue? Why don't we just moving away the distraction, right? That's the normal people. But the ADHD, not things like that. This is the distraction in my desk, the tissue, for example. But I'm not going to throw away this tissue because this distract my concentration to the trash, yeah, to the rubbish can. No, but I'm going to flip this tissue and make it tidy, yeah, like this person. So that's ADHD. It's difficult to focus and calmly easy to distract with the not important things, I'm gonna say, right? Not important things, and it's very difficult for the ADHD also to focus, listening the teacher explaining the material, or probably asking them to listening the monologue. It's really difficult, yeah, easy to get a distraction. And not only ADHD, autism, yeah. So the autism is different, not like ADHD. In autism, the people here difficult with the social interaction because they only focus to their life. they have their own life. Yeah, it's really difficult to get the social interaction. Yeah, sensitive to the routine change and requires a clear structure and predictably, and also so I mean the social interaction is some things annoying sometimes for the autism, but it doesn't mean that this disorder cannot be cured. Like we cannot make the people or the person with the autism uh, growing up become normal people. But there's so many cases while they was born with the autism, but when they grow up they become a normal people. There are so many cases actually. So I mean, they can cure and they can change, and I mean growing up become a normal person. Yeah. Just in case if uh, they get a good treatment and also good therapy. Yeah, good therapy, especially for the autism and also the ADHD, because it's not like a physical disability while the person has no hands, no foot, for example. But this is only dealing with emotional and behavioral disorder. What I'm gonna say here, it can be cured by the therapy and also by the treatment properly. Okay, so we are going to talk deeply and more comprehensive, uh, s- talking about the practical implementation of the inclusive TPAC in iPad. And the iPad focuses on practice of differentiation in the learning classroom. So the student learn to adapt to the three core components. What do I mean student here is you, the pre-service teacher, you all, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that here you are going to learn about the content modification. Content modification here, I mean, I hope that you realize when you teach the language to the special need of the student, try to make the language simpler. Yeah, language simplification. Not like you teach to the advanced or the normal students. Yeah. Try to understand that they have the special need. Therefore, you should serve the special content. I mean, the language you use when you speak up in the class, yeah, not only by talking like me. Probably you can add like your gesture. You can add. You can speak slower. You can speak slower, and even using simple and also easy vocabulary to make those students easy to understood. Right. And then multimodality. What do I mean here? For example, when you are going to teach about the vocabulary of the body parts, and then you're not only talking about, so this is the head, no, but you can touch your head. This is the hand, and this is the hair, and then your movement, your what mouth movement should be clear. Mouth movement, not only pronunciation, mouth movement. Your voice, yeah, must be sure that your voice can be heard clearly by all of the students in every corner of your class. The next one, not only you have the ability in the modification to the content, but also you have the ability in the pedagogic modification. Yeah. What do I mean with the pedagogic modification? You know how to teach. When you teach the various, the different student, hopefully that you have a different and various style also. Alright. Kemampuan mendidik. The pedagogy means kemampuan mendidik. Your empathy, your sympathy, your passion, that also include to the pedagogic modification or pedagogic knowledge. And the next one is the technology. Even though you are teaching the inclusive or special needs student, it doesn't mean that you don't need technology. Akang teteh, probably you can find in the Google or the search engine that there's so many applications. There are so many technology media that you can use to teach the special needs student. Like for example, text to audio. Text to audio will help the student with the visual or the blindness. Yeah, text to audio, changing the text to audio, or changing the text, changing the audio to the text. Yeah, changing the audio to text to help the student with the deaf condition. Yeah, with the hearing disorder. And the braille also, the application to the printed braille. That's also the technology, right? I'm still remember while my friends finishing his study in the education and study program in the same university with me, but he can graduate faster than me and creating the paper, in creating the paper, talking about the what the braille use in teaching English for the special needs student, right? And there's so many applications also dealing with the braille. So that's about the TPAC. It doesn't mean that you don't need the TPAC, yeah, or the technology capability to use in teaching the special need. And as the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, so the role of the English language education teacher here is as the agent of the inclusion. The special needs students also have the same right to go globally. They has also the opportunity like Putri Aryani to compete, to collaborate not only locally but also with other people coming from around the world. Like Putri Aryani collaborate as the musician with Alan Walker. This is amazing, right? So the iPad course here is not just about teaching different children, but about becoming a better teacher for you as the student here in our campus. And also English language education can graduate to understand the iPad to reflect the innovative and humanistic professionalism. Professional as the teacher, I mean. And also ready to create the English classroom, your classroom later on, that really realize the equal learning opportunities, not only for the normal children, but for all, no matter what, yeah, for every individual. Before we close for our meeting today, I have a really good video that I'm gonna show to you to end our meeting today. Before I'm going to give also like another one after you watch the video. Let's take a look the last video.
Aku nggak suka belajar sambil duduk. Aku suka jalan-jalan, tapi aku suka belajar. Angkat pusing lebih asik menggambar.
Setiap anak berhak memperoleh pendidikan tanpa perbedaan, termasuk anak dengan disabilitas.
Aku tutup kuping, bukan nggak mau dengar sama bu guru, karena aku nggak tahan dengar soal teman-teman yang ribut.
Aku kurang suka pelajaran matematika, aku lebih suka membaca sama main basket.
Bu guru, aku nggak bisa melihat, tapi aku tetap ingin belajar.
Di sekolah inklusif, kami para guru paham bahwa anak-anak berkebutuhan khusus mempunyai potensi untuk dikembangkan. Hanya saja cara belajar mereka yang berbeda.
Perbedaan dalam proses belajar bukan halangan untuk mengembangkan potensi. Sekolah inklusif, sekolah untuk semua anak.
Okay, so that's the last video that I showed to you to close for our meeting today, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope it can open your horizon, it can enrich your horizon to understand that teaching, not only you dealing with the same condition of your student later on. Even in the normal class, you have a variety and diversity in the normal classroom. How can you coming to the special need or the inclusive classroom? It will be more colorful. Therefore, the way of your teaching, the way of your thinking, the way of your ability to deliver, to educate your student must be also various, must be different. So probably that's for our discussion today, talking about why iPad come as the special course in our semester today. So thank you very much for watching the video with me, and I hope it can give you a lot beneficial. Thank you very much, and see you for our next discussion. Bye-bye.